Yeah, it's good to have a visit, but it's also good to see him go away. Hi, Mary. So, today I have sort of decided we're going to work on a pendant style necklace. Make a lot of necklaces, don't we? Though actually, when I put my poll up for what do we want to make, the big thing was necklaces and bracelets that came up. So, and they were tied neck and neck. So, so we'll make necklaces. We're going to use this. Recognize this, guys? This came from Thunderhorse Descendant. Hey, Bonnie. Hi, Lori. Hi, PK. Hey, hi, Leah. We have got a crowd starting on here. Cool. Hi, Anita. We haven't seen you for a while. Well, if I can get this packaging open, I can never find the ends of these little packages. There we go. So this little baby that we're going to use today is, it can be. And have you noticed that the Ziploc bag, the little Ziploc bags, the zip is getting tighter? I mean, I have a bugger of a time getting it open without tearing it anymore. So anyway, this is what we're going to use as our pendant. This came from Randy and from Thunderhorse Descendant. I purchased it from her, and I think it's very nice, but I'm going to take this nasty old bell off, and I just squished it a little too much. It won't come out of it now. There we go. Over and around. No, you won't go out that way. Okay. We'll get you out the other way. There we go. Bell off. We'll get it a regular bell. So, turquoise chunk. We got our turquoise hikis or heishis that we got from, oh, wow. Yeah, I heard something about Bozeman having a blizzard too, but but again, we're in the opposite direction of it than you are, but it's in the middle of us. I heard Oneida Pass was pretty bad too. So so we're going to use these heishis. They match this piece pretty good, don't they? We're also going to use these magnesites. They're a little too blue, but they'll work better than nothing. I've got these. These are supposed to be white moonstone. They don't have much flash to them though, so they're not A grade, I don't think. But they came from China, so we'll do what we can. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn. I hit the snooze button accidentally then instead of the. But they are pretty. So we've got those. We got the magnesite. We've got the heishis. So those are what we're going to use for beads. And then I've got all kinds of different spacers. So there's the magnesite. Oop. The bag is sticking to me this morning. Stop. Hey, Donna. Oh, it's raining in Iowa. You know what? It was snowing yesterday morning. Remember I said I hadn't looked out. I didn't know if it was snowing or what it was doing. And it was snowing yesterday morning. But by the afternoon, about ½ inch we got had melted off because it got up to 39, and I think it's 39 right now. Hey, Deborah. So I'd have to ask my daughter. She just got home from work a few minutes ago. So there's our beads, what we're going to use for beads, and we got our pendant. And I've got all kinds of different silver spacers out here. But Randy might join us this morning. She said she might anyway. We'll hope for that. I spoke with her for a few hours last night because we've got some things we're thinking of doing. But I'm not going to spill the beans because she has to make that decision. Hi, Susan. So yes, that was fun, wasn't it, Mary and Beth? I liked having. Sometimes, you know, it's nice getting a second and even a third opinion. Torrential rain. Okay. So you guys in Mississippi had rain, and now it's dreary. Anyway, ours turned to rain this morning, and I'm hoping it doesn't decide it wants to freeze, because freezing rain is horrid. And I'd rather have snow any day of the week than freezing rain. Not that I go very many places. I'm pretty much a homebody now that I'm retired. If I'm not doing a show. Yeah, that is very true. My knees have been hurting a bit lately too. The cold and damp is not nice to them, but it is the way it is. And frankly, I need to get hold of my orthopedic surgeon. I've been putting that off. But it's time to stop here, putting it off pretty soon here. But I probably will, but we'll see. So let's turn down and we'll get started on our necklace here and see what we get. Hey, Dorothy. Nice to have you in. See if I missed anything here before we turn. So gloomy in North Carolina, raining in Iowa, overcast in Virginia. Lovely weather this time of the year, huh? Well, I'd rather have the rainy, wet, slightly warm than what we had last year. That was bad. Last year, I guess it was, hi, Rosemary. It was a little bit later than this. I guess it was in January. We had, Mother Nature stuck us in the deep freeze, and we were at -38, -36, -42. Hey, Randy, you did make it. And it trashed the engines of every one of our cars. My husband's oil pump froze and broke. My water pump froze and broke. My daughter got ice in her engine, so her engine had to be taken apart and cleaned up. It was horrible. It was absolutely nasty. And it was so freaking cold. You couldn't go outside without, you had to be bundled up good. So, so thankfully, I'll take these high 30s, low 40s any day of the week over that. I mean, it's not normal for this time of the year. We still have snow on the ground, but it started melting out pretty good yesterday. But no, I don't want another one like last year. Even if I didn't have to go out of the house, it was still horrid when you did have to go out. But So, hi, Bonnie. But so hopefully it won't do anything like that this year. I mean, we've had -20s before, and that's pretty common. But boy, that was so horrible last year. So anyway. Yeah, I bet you did. So let's turn down and we'll look over these things a little bit, and then we'll get designing, because I really haven't designed it. I just pulled out all the beads. So but let's get ready for our turn. Come on, baby, turn. There we go. So here's our pretties. So here's our pendant. Oop, I didn't get out a bell. We need a bell. I have some beside me. Where did I put them? I know I had them right here just a second ago. Ah, here's one. This one will work. I like it. So here's a regular bell. And I don't think we're going to use any beads small enough that it's going to go through that, so we don't really have to worry about it. It's not an overly large hole. So we're just going to hook that directly to that. We got our big white beads, and we got our magnesite and our heishis. I think what I want to do, I was looking at these earlier and thinking, oh, we could do such and such a thing with these. Come on, string, cut. And then we'll have to cut these other two too, so we'll just do that. These are on a string. Those are on like a fishing line kind of thing. Put you over here. So we'll get my clippers out to get this line. It's easier with these than it. So, got our pendant. What I'm thinking of is 2 of the whites like this, and then one of my double spacers here. Just put a pile out here. And we'll put one of the double spacers between these two. And then, where's the end of that I cut off here? See how it'll look with pop. There we go. That'll still work. And I think I should have enough of these spacers to keep this up if I want to. So there's the start of our bead strand. Hi, Sid. Nothing like a little cold, huh? I could go for 70 degrees. Be nice. Of course, my family all live down in southern Arizona, and they're always telling me, it's so nice and warm. It's 70 degrees at Christmas time, generally. And I'm like, yeah, and it's 120 in the summertime, and it's too hot. I can do without the too hot. So now what I want to do here, I think, after this little bit, is to make like a stack of spacers, and I've got to decide if I want to use which style I want to use here. Do I want to just do a stack with the daisy spacers and then maybe a corrugated one, or do I want to use one of these big ones? I've got these really cool big ones, or I got these, though, you know, these have a relatively good size hole. I think those might even go on thin leather. Let's get the 1.5 out and see if this will go on those, because if it will, I'll just put these aside for leather. Where's your end? Right there. Oh, yeah, I think these are going to be stuck aside for leather things. Bing. Put those back in their bag. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is maybe put one of these in here. Where are you? Then a corrugated spacer. Go back this way. And then, where's the end of the heishis? Oh, that answers my question. They're all falling off. And I'm thinking I'm going to put some multiple heishis here, like maybe 5 of them. Maybe not that many. We'll see. But with a spacer between each one, maybe just one of the medium daisies between each one. Yeah, true. That's true, Leah. You can always find ways to warm up, but it's easy. Well, you know, that's not true. I can find ways to warm up, and there are times when I can't find ways to cool down. It gets too cold. Okay, where's my turquoise wire? Because we're going to use turquoise wire, of course, on this. Come here. So what I was thinking with the heishis here is to take, well, we'll have one of these on the end because we'll be going back to the other side. Then we'll do this one's drilled a little off center, but not so much that I'm going to freak out about it. Oop. Caught hold of one of the beads in my finger here. And back to the big one. So then the little and the corrugated. Come on, big white guy. There we go. Ta-da. So then we'll go back to this pattern over here on this side. Then I'll have to decide where in this pattern I'm going to put my, I'm thinking I'll just take out this double spacer when I get to one of these spots and put the because then we don't have the blue right beside it. It's the white. And so I think that's where we're going to put it, is in um, one of those pieces. I don't put this aside so I don't accidentally drop it. That would be really bad. So we want a big one, a little one, a corrugated spacer. Hopefully I'll have enough of these big spacers, or I'm going to have to go find some more somewhere, because I know I probably have some more, but the question is, where do I have them? So they're like that. Now we go to our heishi pieces here. And they rolled all over the place here, didn't they? Because there's one even over here on this side. Let's get that guy. Come here, you. Come here. Oh, I got a whole pile of them there. Now these ones, I thought these ones matched our turquoise piece really darn good. Of course, they're both turquoise. Real turquoise, not the fake stuff. That hole is a bit offside, so we don't want to use that one. Now, even though this side isn't going to be long enough to be done, I'm going to, where you end? There we go. I am going to put the bail in here so I can see exactly how it looks. Well, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Instead of the double spacer, we're going to put the bail right here. And it definitely isn't going to go inside those beads. So, or those beads aren't going to be inside it, I should say. So go like there, and then of course the pendant will hang right there. So yeah, I think that's going to work for me anyway. I like it. Okay, what have we missed here? So I always put pictures in my bead book too, but I just take the pictures after I make things, and then I have already drawn them in my bead book. If I haven't drawn them because I'm doing an on-the-fly thing, then I'll just draw them in and put the pictures in. But I started that after Randy showed me how to suggested it to me, and I really enjoy it. I have a whole bunch of them. But I use a bigger one than her so I can put some more pictures in. I think I showed you guys the one from when I designed the one with the Christmas bulbs, the picture of that one. Now that one was a pre-design rather than a, I'll design it after a while. I mean, I'll put it in after I design it. I love my design book too. And another good thing about the design book is um, if you want to, if you'll do custom orders and such, you can always take your design book with you to shows. That one's full of gunk. And then somebody says, "Well, I like this, but," you know, you can show them some of your designs, and then you can even sort of draw what they're talking about. You know, I like this one, so let's take and draw this one in, but I want, and then make the changes in your drawing so they can see what it would look like, to a degree anyway, if you were to do a custom one for them. I take my circlet one with me when I go to my Renaissance festival so people can see how it would look in that instance. So here we are, we're back to the magnesite. Come on, big white one, where's your hole at? Is that it? Yep. Oh, there's some flash. See that right now? That's pretty. I love the flash of moonstone. I think this, though rather than rainbow moonstone, this is the one they called white moonstone. It's probably the same stone as rainbow, but it just doesn't have the same flash that rainbow has. So we are almost back to where this side is. I think I'm going to like that, but we need to put a bead stopper on here because we need to get some more line out. Come on. Now we're right here. Oops, gonna have to get some more of the big ones out. Looks like the little ones too. Come here, you. Looks like we're not going to use these ones. I might as well get them out of my way. Oops. Don't drop everything. So what's everybody else working on? Anything special? Now that you don't have to make Christmas presents and stuff. Because we all know that most of us probably made Christmas presents for people. Fireplace. There's times I wish I had a fireplace, but we don't. Hey, Cindy. How am I keeping my beads after I break the strands? I usually just put them in little baggies if I don't behave and put them in there in some boxes. I have just a second. Sit there. Do not let loose your beads. I have these little 4-compartment boxes, which the middle comes out, which irritates the crap out of me sometimes because they open up a little bit and sometimes and let the beads mix. When they start doing that, and I know I'm not going to change the way I do them, I put a little super glue or something or E6000 on the bottom and stick it down, and then it's not opening up. I like these because when I do have like some big stuff that like like these beads, because they'd probably take up more than one section, I can pull one of them out and use two sections for them. So that's how I, if I'm behaving and I put them away instead of just putting them in a little baggie and dumping them beside me, which unfortunately I do a lot, and I need to stop doing that because it's just making a piled up mess. So, and that's one of the reasons I can't find stuff, because they're just all over the place. One of these days I have to try and clean it up, especially if I get the new tripod that you suggested, Randy, because that's going to take up more room than this little one. But hopefully this little one is starting to slip, you know, when I have it upright and it wants to go over to this, it wants to just slide back over to the way it is right now, which is sort of irritating because that's not where I want it at the time. So I think I like the way this is turning out. Yeah, maybe I should get a Phyllis too. Ah, is it going any better, Randy? I'm still going slow. Oh, now that's the way to be, Kimberly. Oh, I'm glad. That's very good, Beth. I'm glad you tried the icicle ornaments. They turn out really pretty, don't they? Um, I especially like them when I use just all crystal, because then to me it really does look like an icicle. But I got my wedding jewelry for Randy all finished, and she has it now. So come on, where's the end? There it is. Now we still need quite a bit more. At least one more go round, like so. So Randy, have you got a lot of the jewelry in, or not yet? This is not a kit, Cindy. This is a variety of beads that I've gotten in a few different places that I decided to put together, because you know, I like them. This is one of the stones, or well, yeah, it is a stone. pendants from Randy's Christmas bundle that she sold the extras to us. I didn't manage to get a Christmas bundle, so I did buy like, I think 4, maybe even 5 of the pendants. And then these little heishis are real turquoise that I got from Bead Box Bargains. The lighter blue with the patterning is dyed magnesite, which I got from Bead Box Bargains. And these white moonstone, I believe I got from Temu, but I might have got them from Amazon because I'm notorious for buying from both places. I buy from Amazon more often because, well, you get it faster. And like Randy, I'm sometimes into instant gratification. If I order something, I want it like now. So, since a lot of the Temu stuff comes from China, well, actually, so does the other people's stuff. It's just that they already have it here instead of you having to wait for it to come. So. There's that section done. And I think the spacers are mostly all from Bead Box Bargains too, except for the double bead caps. Those are again one of those that I'm not sure if I got them from Amazon or from Temu. They are just magnesite. So not a kit. I was debating working on the glacial glimmer again today, but then I've had this idea in my head for a while, and when my heishis, my turquoise heishis came from Bead Box Bargains the other day, I was like, okay, now I can make that necklace I was thinking of. I hadn't entirely designed it, but I knew the beads I wanted to use, so I just had to break my beads out and put them to use. So see how long this side is now. I think I'm probably going to put the 5 heishis on. It's about 11 inches. So if I put the 5 heishis on now, again, we're going to be about 12. So we're going to be about a 24-inch pendant, and that's all right with me. I like that size. So then I have to decide how I want to end it. I do have some Old Faithfuls up here, or we have some, I have lobster claws. It's just one of those decisions that has to be made. I frequently like to do lobster claws because then you can put an extender on it if they want it to be longer, but frankly this is going to be 24 inches. It doesn't need to be longer. Anyway, I certainly wouldn't think so. Oh, we were talking about the pricing of the little necklaces yesterday, and I told you they'd probably be about $18. And then I got off after I got off the phone with you guys, I thought about it and I thought if I put them on my Etsy store, they're going to be 25. And why is that the case? Because it costs. When you put anything on the Etsy store, it costs you a fee to put them on in the first place. Though it's not bad, 20 cents for a year of it being on there. If it goes longer than a year, of being on there, then they will recharge you for 20 cents again. But if um, it sells, then they charge you again both a transaction fee and a processing fee. And then you've got also your shipping. And some of us, I put mine down as free shipping, and I just charge a straight $5 for shipping, no matter what's in there. But you also got to consider that now you've got to do packaging. You don't have it. You aren't just handing it to somebody as they purchase it. You have to package it up, and you have to send it off. And I usually put in a free gift of some kind. So now we're talking about, a lot of extenuating circumstances when you're shipping them off to somewhere else. So that is something you need to think about if you're selling them on a different, if you're not just selling them personally, but you're selling them on a platform. You do have to think about the costs incurred in sending them off. Exactly, Randy, and photos and write the listing. So, hi, Angel. So, it also, you know, really takes a lot of time to list them. So it's I mean, when you do a craft show, you have to take the time, of course, to go down there and set everything up. But once it's all set up, it's just sit back and wait for people to buy stuff, and then you're gonna all you're generally giving them is a sack. You're not uh, got your padded envelope, your box, all the other odds and end things you're gonna put in your order with your order that you ship off, like the card, and the free gift. And though I suppose if you're selling directly, you can give people free gifts if you want to. I just don't. But I do give a free gift when you purchase online. And I also put, not only a business card, but I write a little card. And we all know Randy does that too, because she does it all the time. And, those are extraneous uh, parts that you don't need to do if you're selling direct. So, extra costs. And I think that's one reason why Randy left Etsy is both the processing fee and the transaction fee and the posting fee. And, there's just so many odds and end things that you have to do when you're, uh-oh, uh-oh. There's an error over here on this side. See, don't have this. Have to fix that. We'll fix that as soon as we finish this other side. That's one reason why I compare side to side when I'm doing things, so that I can see if I pulled a Dorcas move like that. Oh, there's 5. Don't need another one. So we have one more set of the magnesite white, and then one more set of the heishis for this side. And oops, I need some. Well, I don't need very many, just 3. But now we're just about done with this side, and then I have to go back and fix the other side that I messed up. See, for some reason it's a little longer. I wonder why. It's right here. Okay, make sure I didn't make any other mistakes besides that one. So we're going from here. This is fine to here, and here's our boo-boo. And then it's fine the rest of the way. So we have to pull it off right here. Go up there, you guys, so you don't knock everything over while I pull these off. So we have to put the missing bits and pieces on here. Rory's being relatively quiet now. When we were doing the members life yesterday, he was talking up a storm. I think he's asleep. And for those of you wondering about Members Live, I have started a membership this last week for $4.99, and I do a Members Live on Thursday afternoons, so that was sort of fun. We did one yesterday. We did our second one yesterday. I did my first one last week. We made ear cuffs last week, and then yesterday we made a necklace using the Glacier Glimmer pieces from the regular and then the companion bundle, as well as, okay, what do we need right here? We're right here, so we need the magnesite. Oop. Come here, you. And the first companion bundle and the regular, and then I had from my little holiday mystery bundle. For those of you who get them, they're or don't get them, they're from Bead Box Bargains, and they're just a little mystery. You get what you get. There's 5 items in the little mystery bundle. They're free if you ordered $30 worth of stuff. Now they only do it at holiday times, so they're not going on anymore, unfortunately, because they were fun. And the 5 items are some kind of metal, 2 strands of beads, one being check glass and one being gemstones. And then okay, I think we're good now. And then a singular little packet of generally check glass. I think they were mostly check glass. A pendant, metal, yeah. And so I got a really cool black agate pendant. I'm pretty sure it was black agate in my mystery bundle. So that's what I used for the pendant for the necklace we made on the Members Live yesterday. Turned out very nice, I think. Okay, time to compare again. Cool. Yeah, there are a lot of fees. Thank you. Oh, hi, Laverle. I didn't see you come in. Yeah, we were we were a little rowdy yesterday, but that's all right because we made a beautiful design with our rowdiness. So let's see. We're looking like we're back on track. So now it's probably gonna, since I missed a few beads, it's probably gonna be at least 24 here. Yeah, it's 24. So by the time we get the findings on it, it's probably going to be closer to 25. But we are done with all this stuff, so I'm going to just sort of shove it to the front up here so it's out of our way. And we need to put our pendant on, and then we need to decide, trying to decide if I want to double crimp it. I might, because by the time we put this on, it's going to be a lot heavier. So now double crimping is not a true necessity. I just do it because of weight issues. And I've got to get... Now, I had trouble finding my crimps yesterday, and now we're going to see if I can find them easily this morning. Well, if I can't find them, my soft flex ones relatively easily, I have a huge bag of them that I got from Beadalon. So we will just use some of those. Oh, come on, bag. Thank you. Put you aside still because we're going to do the top. We only wanted 4. And if this was yesterday, I'd be dropping them on the floor as I was putting them away. I think I dropped like half a dozen to a dozen beads yesterday between. Thank you, ladies. So we're going to double crimp this because I'm thinking the weights, it's not a horrible weight, but it's not a really light weight either. And I have to decide what bead I want between my 2 crimps. I'm leaning towards the magnesite since we're about back to that point there. So even though we're not quite there, I could put the other 2 spacers in and make it to that point. How big is this spacer hole right here? Nope, the crimp will drop into that. So we're just going to do it just as it is, and we are going to use a magnesite though, because I'm pretty sure that hole is big enough for 2 lines. It's a big bead though. Do I want that big of a bead? Let's see your hole. Will you take 2 lines? You should. Maybe we'll just use that guy. So then put them on like that with your bead. And you don't have to put a bead between. I just like to. And I could have put one of these spacers in between too. One of the round ones. And that would work as well. But I didn't. So in fact, let's do that. Let's do the round one, but let's pull it off this end right here. Put our bead away. And what I'm going to do then is put the crimp tube on. And then our ball spacer. And then our crimp tube. And now we're sort of keeping our pattern up here at the top, but we're just adding to it. So we'll turn and we'll go through our crimp. Ball spacer and crimp. And now I know it will go through some of those others. I'm not going to worry about it now because we're on the side that it doesn't need to be worried about yet. Straighten our crimp, our wires up and get in here and crimp this. So now we'll push these up here. Come on, crimp. To the, if you'll go on, which we know you will, so just do it. Push that up to your ball spacer and get your crimp in the divot and then push it up as far as you can. See how I'm pushing on it and then crimp? And then just finish your crimping up. So there's our 2 crimps. Now if one of these should happen to fail for some reason, you've got the second one to keep you from losing everything off your bead strand. So now we can push everything to this side. And we don't want to push it down extremely tight because we don't want our bell to be doing what it's doing right now. We want to have it have room to drop down between these two beads. So even though I do want it down there all the way, I don't want it really, really tight. So okay, bye Randy. Have a good luck with your bracelet. We'll see you later. So now, of course, I'm going to take this bead off since we've decided it's our middle bead between our two crimps. Get the crimp, the bead. Oh, we're over the hour. That's why she's leaving us, because we're over the hour. And the crimp. Then we're going to go through. Now this time we have to go through everything that we're going to go through because, well, we don't have the leeway to not. There it is. It just came out there, and I'm going to let it come out there. I'm going to pull her up, and then I'm going to push this down so that we can pull it up some more. And because of the need for some space here between these two, because your crimping pliers have to go on, this is the one we're going to do now, the middle one here. So get in here between the two beads and get your crimp in the right place. It wants to move slow down a little bit from where I want it, so I have to get it in place. Now crimp and then turn and get your crimp nice and set. I'm going to move down this stuff, and then we're going to crimp our top one now. This one is crimped second because your crimping pliers have to have room to get in here, and if you crimp this one really tight, there's no room. You have no way of getting in and crimping your second one unless you want to take your chain nose pliers, your real thin ones, and get in there and do a flat crimp, which sort of defeats the prettiness. So now we're going to trim off this excess wire here. And the bead strand itself is all finished. Now we just have to get a jump ring and put on our pendant down here and our clasp. I'm not sure what I want to use for clasp yet. I could use just about anything that I want. I think I have a Old Faithful right here. Maybe we'll just put in an Old Faithful. Yeah, I do have some Old Faithfuls. Now, the thing with using the Old Faithfuls, I like them. I think they're cool, but they're spendy. I mean, this is like $2 more for the Old Faithful than for the lobster claw. So, but since this is a turquoise necklace, I'm not going to crimp on it. I mean, I'm not going to skimp on it. I should say, not crimp. We just did crimp. So there's Old Faithful. So we just need some jump rings. Finish it up. Hey, Christine. Well, we're only going to be on for a few more minutes. I'm going to finish this baby up with some jump rings, and then we will be done. And again, yesterday I put my bottle after I refilled it with my medium jump ring somewhere, and I'm not sure where it's at. I can see my large ones, but I can't see my medium ones. So we'll just get them out of this new package that I pulled out when I could. Oh, these are large ones. I don't want the large ones. Bing. There's the medium. My extra medium one is right here. Come here. think I have an extra tinky top one there too. Oh, come on. These things are getting so bad about opening. And they're harder when you have this clip on. Oh, there it went. So I just need out 3 jump rings. That's 4. I only need 3. And we'll put our pendant on and put our clasp on, and our necklace will be done. And I think, and I've got some flash going on in this moonstone, at least this one piece of moonstone. So that's really pretty. I like that. I love the flash. So we go through here. This has got no particular front and back until we put the pendant on. So you can put it on either way. It doesn't matter. Come on, you. Let me get hold of you. If there's one thing I hate, it's when my pliers slip off like that. Oh, stop. There we go. There's the pendant on. And now we'll get up here and get the clasp on. Through one side, through the loop. Make sure that's closed. Now we'll get the second one. I've finally gotten used to these handles, I think, the candle covers. I got those, you know, in my Beetle on Mystery Pack, and I decided to put them on these, and then I was like, I'm not sure I like these. They were, you know, sort of irritating me for a while, but I've got used to them now, and they don't bug me so much now. I've still got like 2 or 3 pair of them. I should put them on some of the other ones too. So we're done. She's all done. All finished. Gotta pick up my mess now. But our necklace is done. That is a very good question, Beth. It's I'd have to do some heavy duty figuring here because it's not something I'm just going to figure out off the top of my head. Yeah, you could do that. Have some like, but remember we did one the other day that I had coral in with my turquoise or howlite, as the case may be, because it wasn't really turquoise. But and we had another different style of turquoise pendant at the bottom. So I didn't want to do another one with the coral since we already had one. So okay, I'm going to turn this up. The turquoise heishis I got from Bead Box Bargains, Angel. Oops, there we go. Now see, she doesn't want to stay put. That's why I need to get a new tripod. Thanks, Bonnie. So, and they are turquoise. They're not howlite or magnesite. The round faceted ones here are magnesite. So there we go. I think it turned out pretty darn nice. Pricing, I have to figure out the price of things. Now I know that the clasp, as I was just commenting, is $2.50 from Randy, and the pendant was one of the ones that Randy was selling, and I think it was $4.50. So there is $7 right there without even counting any of the beads or spacers. So the howlite, I should say the magnesite, was $7.99 for the strand, and the turquoise, these little turquoise heishis, were $9.99 for the strand. So I would have to figure out how much it costs per heishi to do that. So what I do is count them all and then divide $9.99 by however many beads there is, and then each bead would cost that much. Like same with the magnesite, that was $7.99. Then we need to do the figure of the price for all of the other odds and end things we used, which was, by the way, here is the bag for the turquoise heishis angel. So if you want to find the number, it's 5470. Jim's 5470. And I think they still had some. I bought 2 strands of them. So then I'd have to figure out the price of everything. Like I said, here's the magnesite. It was $7.99 for these ones. I don't remember how much I paid for the moonstone, but I'm sure it wasn't real cheap. Moonstone doesn't tend to be very cheap. So so then I would figure out the price of every bead individually. Then I would count how many's in the necklace, and then I would put that price down on. I'd write all this down on a piece of paper because otherwise, it's gone. You know? would have to figure out how much the cost of the moonstone was, because like I say, I don't remember, and I don't think I have it wrote on the packaging. I tried. Oh yes, I do. The moonstone was $9.99 also, and I actually even have individual bead price on the package, which is 28 cents each, because I already figured this out, obviously. So I have to count up how many moonstone are in here at 28 cents a piece. And then we go on with how many spacers. These double bead caps, I believe, were $1/4 a piece. And then I think these guys are, well, let's see. Here's our bags, and these were all from Bargain Bead Box. So actually I can either count them or I can just find my slip, because a lot of times they'll tell you how many were in the bag when you buy them. So so I got all 3 of these style of beads: the corrugated spacers, the larger daisy spacers, and the smaller daisy spacers, all from Bead Box Bargains. And I have wrote on the package how much the whole package cost me, but I didn't divide it out at this time, so I still need to divide it out. So then what I do is so then what I do when I write, like I say, I figure out the price of everything, and that includes the beading wire and the crimp tubes. Because these were bead-along crimps rather than Softlex crimps, they're a little bit cheaper, and so they would have been about 15 cents each. Crimps are not cheap, so a lot of people just take them for granted, but they're not cheap. You gotta pay for those too. So so the crimps are 15 cents a piece, and I used 4 of them, so that's another 60 cents. So once you figure out all the pieces, like I say, as I figure it out, I write it down on a piece of paper. You know, heishi, I used what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 40 heishis at, say, I don't know how much they're going to end up being, 10 cents a piece. So that's very true. Quality crimps are pricey. And you can get a discount crimps, but hey, you don't want to. I can break those. I mean, with your magical crimpers, you go around them the 4 or 5 times that you need to make your little ball in your good crimp tube, and 9 times out of 10, your crimp's gonna break. And what's the sense of it? If it's gonna break, why use it? So anyway, so then I write it all down. So like if they were 10 cents a piece and I used if they tend to be that and they cost and there's 40 of them, then it would be $4 for the heishis. So we'd have that wrote down. The beading wire, obviously this is a foot long, 2 feet, and beadle-on beading wire. Well, it used to be. I think the price has gone up some, so I really should refigure that. It used to cost me 80 cents a foot. So at 80 cents a foot, it's actually 85 cents a foot now because it's $8.49 a spool. And it used to be $7.99. So anyway, at 85 cents a spool, we're at $1.70 for the beading wire. Don't forget to charge for your beading wire. You don't get it free. You have to pay for it. So don't forget to charge for that. And so you want to write down, or at least use your calculator and figure everything out, how much everything cost you to make this. You want to charge for your beads, you want to charge for your wire, you want to charge for your crimps, your spacers, your pendant, your bail, everything, even your jump rings. Now these jump rings are 100 for $4.75, so about 5 cents a piece. I used 3, so it's 15 cents. Charge for everything. You have to purchase it, and if you don't charge for it, then you're losing money. So you want to write down everything that's in your piece. Is what I do. I just take a list and I write like pendant, turquoise pendant, bail, jump rings, moonstone, double spacers, magnesite, the larger daisies, smaller daisies, the corrugated, and I just go down the line and write on my list every style of bead. Then I'll write down how many of each that I used, and then I'll find my pricing and I will price it. So like I said, I used 40 heishis. I don't know that they're going to be 10 cents a piece, but if they did, I used 40, it would be $4. So then I write all those prices down and then I add them all up. So now you've got what it cost you to make it with the parts that you have. And then you at least want to double that. And then if you've doubled it, after you double it, you add in for your time. I charge $25 an hour if I'm doing it the time way. So whatever that came to, plus $25 for the price of the beads times 2 plus the $25. Or I just do the cost of the beads times 4. Now this is something my dad taught me. He had his own business and he said, if you do it both ways, when you can go for the higher price or the lower price, whichever you choose. But if it was intricate, if it took you more time to do it than it cost than you would have thought of cost for your materials, go with a higher price. Always go with a higher price. So that's what I do. He also told me if it took you a long time, but there was hardly any pieces to it, charge extra for your time, because your time is worth money. It's not something to give away. So that's how I price things. But I would have to, I can't just with something this intricate, because there's so many beads and things to it. I couldn't just say, oh, well, it's going to be that much. I might really be pricing myself out of the ballpark. With the little necklaces I did yesterday, it wasn't hard to get that $18 because there was only 3 or 4 pieces to each one. That's very true, Beth. So, and I don't like to go down either. There's always people that say, "Well, I don't want to pay that much for it," and I usually say, "Sorry, I price things by what it costs me to make it, so that's what it costs." And every once in a while, I will do a sell, but it's generally just for specific things, like some older stuff. Like I did a Christmas sell, and I did sell some of my older Christmas things that were in my shop for 20% off. But that's a rarity for me. I don't do it very often because I don't like losing money. So, yeah. So what you're saying, Kimberly, is that rather than um, pr- pricing everything in particular, you take your basic stuff and you give it a basic price as opposed to adding it all up. And yeah, there are, Kimberly, and I ignore them. I just tell them, no, I don't haggle. These things are priced by what it costs me to make them. And that's why everything's all different prices. I mean, my earrings run from, well, they used to run from $5 up to 30. Nowadays they start at 6 because of the price of materials. But and I think I've sold all my $5 ones by now. But when people say, "Well, can you make this pair of earrings this price?" No. So, I probably lose some sales that way, and I don't care, because if I sell it at that price, which lowers it, my profit, then I have the problem of, can I replace it? Because you know, I can't make more if I can't buy the pieces because I've sold it, I've undersold it. So, no, I don't do that. Um, there are always people who want me to. I don't. But for instance, I had a lady at the farmer's market a couple years back. She was looking at my hair combs. She liked one particular set. She said those would be nice for my mom, but I'll come back. And I warned her, I only make one of anything. If somebody else buys them while you're gone, they're gone. Well, somebody did. And she did come back for them, but they had already sold. So she tried to talk me into one of the other pairs, dropping the price on one of the other pairs. And I'm like, no, I only make one, and I price them by what it costs me to make them. If you don't want to pay the higher price for the other pair, sorry. She did buy the other pair. But that's the way it goes, in my opinion. That's just the way it is. So this was our necklace for today. We're at almost an hour and a half. I think we're done. I will tell you, um, like I told, like Randy and I were commenting on pictures and time and all that stuff. If I put the little necklaces I made yesterday onto my Etsy shop, they'll be $25 rather than the 18 that I would sell them hand to hand. Because then I've I've got extra things that I have to put in, so they'd be 25 instead of 18. Um, if you're buying to my face, then it's less because I have to account for um, paperwork, all of the packaging stuff, all kinds of stuff like that. So that is just something that we have to do. It's something you have to think about. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Kimberly. Like this clasp. This clasp is $2.50. A lobster claw is 50 cents. It's a big difference in price. So, definitely something you've got to think about. Yeah, that's also true, Beth. Or I always say, if you want something similar, I can use less expensive beads and make you a custom item that's similar to this one, but it's not going to be the same. And it's I do custom items if people want them, and I also repair things if people want things repaired. But if you want them repaired, I have done a couple of repaired. One of them was a really pretty turquoise necklace that I repaired last year for a lady. And the first thing I do is if they have parts of it together already, I'll take a picture of it so I can see the patterning that's in it. But I always say it's going to cost you $25 an hour. If it takes me longer than an hour, you're going to pay more than that $25. The 25 is the basic fee. I don't charge, I won't do anything less than 25 on a repair. Um, if it takes me longer than an hour, then you're going to pay that extra price. And if I have to add to it because you've lost some of the beads, it's going to it's going to cost you a little bit more yet. And I did have to add a few beads to this lady's necklace, and she actually paid the price I asked for it. Plus, she gave me a $10 tip because she said it was one of her favorite necklaces and she was hated to not be able to wear it anymore. So she had no problem with paying me for it. And some people are like that, and other people are going to do their darndest to get away with not paying for anything if they can help it. So um, I'm just a hard nose, and I'm not going to let you get away with jipping me out of anything. Um, it's just the way I am. So that's fine. Your sales trainer can come out whenever it wants to. It doesn't bother me in the least. I'm just the way I am, and that's the way it is. Now, another thing I was going to tell folks when I'm making a necklace or a bracelet, and I don't use wire guardians, and I do have some. I use them occasionally, but when I do, I be very careful and run my finger over the ends um, because they're metal. They're saying, well, we're protecting it from metal. Well, really? Because my oval jump ring, the end of it is in a curve and it's smooth, and I don't worry about it. But if you the minute you put a wire guardian on, you've got two ends of metal that are encasing your beading wire, and they're metal, and sometimes they're sharp. and you know, and so if I'm going to use a wire guardian for anything, I always run my finger over the end of the wire guardian and make sure there's no burrs or anything like that on them. Because the one time only, I've had a wire break on one of my pieces, and it was right by the wire guardian. So, uh, in case anybody's wondering, that's why I don't use them. Because if what your wire guardian has a sharp spot, it's going to cut your wire because it's metal. So, um, and I used to use them. I still have them in all different colors, and I use them like if I'm putting something on a piece of metal that I know is going to be sharper. This piece of metal isn't sharp, so I probably won't use them, but you never can tell. But I've got this piece that I've painted, and I'm going to make it into a sun catcher. I'm going to put some strands of beads, 3 or 4 strands coming down, and then I'll hang it up top here. And then, some crystals at the bottom. This has been sitting beside me because I've been planning on doing that for probably 6 months and haven't done it. Now this one, the metal's not sharp. It's not going to get a wire guardian. However, I did make one that was out of one of my brass stampies. What do I charge when I paint something? I usually just add a few cents, not a lot, to my basic price before I start adding on. Say this one, I'd probably add a quarter to the base price before I start my multiplication into it. So I count the price of this piece plus 25 cents right in my list of things. So of course, by the time we do our multiplication, it adds $1 on, but that's not a lot, let's face it. No, I've never felt the need for a wire guardian with Softflex, and Softflex is the only wire I use. I've got a couple of spools of Beadalon for my mystery kits. I usually send it to Randy because she doesn't mind using it. Last year, I think I sent it to, I can't remember who I sent it to, but I know she was a lady that hadn't been beading long, and she said she didn't have very much wire, so I sent the 2 spools I had to her. But if I thank you, Mary. So I don't use any other style. The only time I use an off-brand, like, well, Beadalon is not an off-brand, it's a pretty famous brand. But the only time I actually use Beadalon wire is if I'm teaching a class, because I'm chintzy. I'm not going to give my Softflex up to class people. They're going to use the Beadalon. So that's the only reason I keep it around. But yeah. And you know, when you're charging for the painting, I don't charge a lot because frankly I think it's fun. I'm glad you like it, Kimberly. That's good. I don't usually charge a lot for my painting, and I probably should charge a little bit more because it not only costs me the price of my paint, but my time. It takes time to paint, but I enjoy it. So, you know, it's not that big of a deal to me. And that's why I don't tack a lot of extra price on for the painting. But I mean, I've got pieces up here that I painted some time ago that I haven't used yet, just because I felt like I was in a mood to paint. See, I have a whole bunch of various things here. There's butterflies and some mushrooms in here. And in this one I have dragonflies and a fairy, and looks like I have a little dragons in there too, and some hummingbirds. And then I have another tray over here that has flowers. I have a thistle and some roses and lilies of the valley. This tray has leaves, lots and lots of different style of leaves. So, and I painted, and those were painted just because I got in the mood to paint one day, and so I just sat and painted them. And I do charge the price of the brass pieces that I paint, but I don't really charge a lot of extra for the paint. So, I think I still have some stuff I was planning on giving away that I haven't given away yet. So I should put that down somewhere sometime. Does anybody want this? I don't usually use the Ranger or the paints. I have them. I have a whole bunch of them. Half of them are dried up because I don't use them that often. But I use paint pins. And that I got from Amazon. Though I need to get some more, and the style that I really love that I got from Amazon, um, they don't have them anymore, which really disappoints me because I've tried a couple of different styles trying to find one I liked. I don't. I haven't found one I really like yet. So I'm a little disappointed in that, but it is what it is. I'll find one sooner or later. Hopefully I can find the original ones that I use most of the time, which are these. Now, according to their stuff, these are actually water-based ink, but they say that once they are dry, you can't wash them off anymore. I haven't tried that to check, but I always put Krylon paint over the top of all of my paintings so I don't have to worry about it. And I do that for two reasons. Number one, it seals the paint, and number two, it gives it a really nice shiny glass. So, oh boy, we've been on for over an hour and a half, and that last half hour, or most of this last half hour, is we've just been chatting. But you know, I like to chat sometimes. We have good discussions. We give each other information, and it works nicely. So I don't think that's a problem. But yeah, so like I say, as far as wire guardians are concerned, they're not something I use, mainly because I use Softflex wire, and it's not really needed for Softflex wire, I don't think. And number two is because it is a piece of metal. You're incorporating another piece of metal directly into your piece on purpose. And sometimes they do have sharp edges. You need to check those. I mean, just take it in your hand and just rub it against your finger, the two ends where your wire is going to go in and out. And if it's got a burr on it, you don't want to use that one. Throw it away. Or get your file out and file it down, one or the other. So I have enjoyed having our little chat and making this really pretty necklace. I think it turned out really nice. I wasn't sure about the moonstone when I started it, but I do like it. I think it's pretty in there. So I hope you enjoyed making this with me. We're going to be gone for the day now in just a few seconds. I do have a recorded video for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, that was, of course, one of our members first, so the members have already had the chance to see it. But if you're not a member and you want to, it's coming up tomorrow morning. I think that's the 4 Simple Parrot Earrings one. Pretty sure it is. And one of those pair of earrings that was in yesterday matches one of the necklaces we made yesterday. So there is that. And then we'll be back on Monday morning. And we'll see. We'll decide what to do Monday morning. Now, I had been thinking I might do something with Softflex, but Softflex likes us to record them because they put them in their blogs. So I'm going to record making the ring. Randy and I actually talked about that yesterday because she said she was going to wire wrap one, and she wanted to make sure it wasn't what I planned on doing. And then I thought, oh, I think I am going to wire wrap it. So we talked last night, and I told her what I was going to do, and she said, oh, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, okay, no problem. We're different. So I am probably going to record making the ring after a bit, and I'm not sure what else, but we might let that one be a members only when I finish it up. So, well, it'll be a members first, not a members only. For those of you who were on yesterday, I did price out the necklace we made yesterday that were on the members, in case you're interested. And that necklace would be, for putting it on Etsy, it would be $86. Without putting it on Etsy, it would be, looks like $74. So that's the necklace we made yesterday on the members live. So everybody have a really nice weekend. We're going way getting close to 2 hours. We're going to be gone. We're going to leave. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Like I say, we do have the video coming up tomorrow for the public rather than the members only one. And it was members only, like I said. But tomorrow it's going to open up to the public. Like I said, I'm going to record that ring, making the ring. It shouldn't take too long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, I think. And for soft flex, and that one I will probably put up. Since I'm doing these lives every day, I don't feel the need to have a recorded video, but I'll put it up sometime or another this week. Might do it this weekend. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a Sunday video. But we'll see everybody later. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden doing the morning coffee talk for Randy Brown of Thunderhorse Descendant. And we'll see you all later. Monday, if not sooner, or, well, obviously we're not going to see you sooner live, but definitely be back Monday morning. We've got one more week of our lives before Randy comes back. And so it's nice of her to drop in this morning. So we'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.